Yolan Trun, welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and it's always exciting when we have a new arc like we now have Ger Rebirth Part 1. And there's one big elephant in the room we haven't talked about yet, and I saved that for the last video on the new arc, and that's today. And that is the crews for the new hostiles in that area of space there. If you are not a 51 plus player yet, be happy, because that's not that easy. And we need to talk about the crews here. And the crews are quite a thing. Today we have silent hostiles here, or silent enemies. They are quite easy. For me at least. And so there's obviously a big difference for people, because when I talked about certain hostiles in my Let's Plays, and that the silent enemies are the easiest for me, others told me those are the worst for them. And so it's quite interesting, because the worst for me are the Gorn. Today I already dealt with the dailies. When the silent enemies are there, I can do all three challenge dailies. And let's quickly talk about crews here. So first I switch to my silent enemy crew. I already, put a speed crew on for one of my Let's Plays. But let's go to my silent enemy crew. In case of this crew, if I want to beat more of those enemies, I would change it a little bit. But this is the crew I used because we have two dailies. We have one with regard to the damage, and one with regard to the number of hostiles you have to defeat. And so I always pick this one. It's Janeway as captain, with Anorex in this case because of the second daily. Otherwise I would use the Doctor. With the Doctor my ship is stronger and I can beat more of those hostiles. But with Anorex I can more easily do the second daily, and that's why I saved the version with Anorex to do the dailies both at the same time. And the third officer, which is really, really important, is Trip Tucker. Without him, I cannot beat those hostiles. And so the really decisive officer here is Trip Tucker. I tried this with Enterprise E-Data and some other things I read out there, but I need this combination to beat those hostiles. And below deck, I've got three officers for status. I mean, you can take out Harry Kim for somebody else, but the officers I have in below deck are working for me. And that's always the thing when I do crew videos. It's always depending on your officer level, on your research, and a lot of other things. So I can always only show you what's working for me. You have to test then for your ships if they are working as well. It will be definitely very clear with another crew which we will talk about today, that the officer levels are very important, because I only could do this after upgrading one of the officers one tier. Before that didn't work. Then I upgraded her one tier and it worked, but we'll talk about this in a second. So on this one I'm using Harry Kim, I'm using Joachim, I'm using B'Elanna Torres, I'm using Strange New Worlds Chapel, because she is not on the blacklist, so to speak. So she's a Strange New World officer you are allowed to use against those. Then I have Picard U here, and I have Neelix here. And this combination is working for me. So with this, I easily did my dailies, my challenge dailies this morning on the silent enemies. Maybe you need to do some alterations below deck, but this is a crew that you can try for the silent enemies if that's working for you on your ops level. My Janeway is only level 15, so she's not that high yet, and my Anorex is still low level as well, but for me this works. Then we need to talk about the Hurak hostiles. And here I have the crew with Janeway, with Suda, and with Seska. And below deck I have Strange New Worlds Chapel, I have Yu, I have Joachim, I have Taurus, I have Picu, and I have Neelix. And this is the crew where the officer level really mattered. it didn't work for me until I upgraded Seska. She is level 15 now. When she was level 10, I couldn't manage those hostiles. Janeway, as I said, is only level 15, and since this morning, Suda is level 20, so they were all level 15 when I finally managed to defeat the Hurak hostiles after I upgraded Seska. But this crew only works with 2 buffs, so I either need the Cerritos buff plus the Enhancer, or the Cerritos buff plus the normal buff from the Titan A. Not the Max Titan, just the normal buff. Then it works for me. But as I said, only since I got Seska to level 15. Before that, it did not work. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. From my point of view, when I'm filming this, I'm always filming, batch filming the English STFC videos, except the Let's Plays for 1 week and 1 day, always on a Wednesday usually. And so tomorrow, from my point of view, there should be Hurak hostiles again. Or on Friday it's Hurak and tomorrow's Gorn again. And so then I will see how much better it works now, since Suda was upgraded a little bit more. Others told me that they would use the Doctor instead of Suda. And there's the thing with the levels and your personal experience. For another player from my alliance here, from my 69 account, it's working better with the Doctor. I did the test as well, and for me it's working better with Suda. And I even sent him my battle protocols to show him. So that's how different it can be for different players, because it depends on everything, on your officer levels, on your research and everything. So everything I show you today is just something that you can try. The same crew I would use against the Gorn. My problem is I still have not managed to kill a single Gorn. I know that other people can defeat Gorn with that crew, but on Ops level 69 it's not possible to do that for some reason for me. At least not with the officer levels I have. So even with the buffs, I can manage to kill half a Gorn. But still, I would recommend testing this crew on the Gorn, because with all the tests, and even if I couldn't destroy any, I still could see how much damage I could do to them. And so this is, for me, the best crew I have tested of all the crews that I've tested. And that's working best for me against the Gorn, even if I can still not beat them, even with the buffs. There's one more crew that I used, oh no, I could have stayed there, just for the damage part of the Gorn, that worked quite well for me as well. It's kind of an emergency crew, and that is the Leslie crew, with Leslie, with Georgiou, and with Ash Tyler, because that kept my ship alive a bit longer. That's just the keeping the ship alive longer thing for the damage daily, with Chapel, with Quasi, with Joachim, with Troy, with Odo, and with Taurus below deck. And that was kind of an emergency test that I did just to get the second daily done. And there's another one for the Hurak hostiles you can try, or for the silent enemies. If you are on a lower level, that might work for you, and that is just PMC, but with that's not my normal PMC. Sorry, there was one PM version I tried. Here, there's the PM Seska with Pike, Moreau, and Seska. On lower level, that might work for you as well. That's another thing you can test. In my case, Pike and Moreau are max, so that's why this worked a little bit. And I still use that below deck that I used on Leslie here. That's something you can try. But my best crews are the ones I showed you in the first place with with Janeway, Anorex, and Tucker for the silent enemies, and for the Gorn and the Huraks. The best one still is Janeway, Seska, and Suda for me. And so that's something you can try. But there's no guarantees on anything. And as I said, I still cannot manage to get down the Gorn. I will have to live with that for a while until I get a really good ship like the Crancher in the future. But at least that's the crew that does the most damage for me on the Gorn. If you want to add something, please do write it in the comments below the video and on Discord. And we'll see us again this afternoon or tonight, wherever you live, with the next Let's Play. And I'll be back.